Welcome to the Channeling Spirit Virtual Summit, a platform where we have invited Spirit to share messages, healings, and transmissions with all of us. May this energetic experience help us to expand our awareness and to deepen the relationship we have with our higher self, our spiritual team, and with Source, however we define them. Thank you for being here and for taking part in this amazing journey. Hello and welcome to the Channeling Spirit Virtual Summit Season 4. We are starting day 2, which is episode 4 with Angela Anderson. She has been with us in the past, so I'm super excited to continue our conversation. And we'll kind of see where this conversation goes. I'm really interested in the subject and topic that Angela's going to be speaking about. So I'll let her introduce herself to us, and then we'll go from there.
Hi, everyone. I'm Angela. I will invite you, if you're here live, to come on camera. It really helps us to build the energy. It helps us to connect. It helps us to open up to what's possible for you here today, because this really is a co-creative experience. So thank you for those of you who are coming on and are getting on camera. I'm Angela. A couple of you know me. I'm currently in Kentucky, of all places. I've been doing this deep, what I consider to be intuitive empowerment work for probably about 15 years. Primarily, I work with women and non-binary people. I also have some offerings that are available to everyone. And I'm particularly excited about today because I feel like now, this point in our experience as humans, we're really being called to step into how we can be in service. And so many people are in service in a way that is not financially rewarding for them, to be perfectly honest. And so this is an opportunity to create a symbiotic win-win experience for you and whomever it is you're here to work with. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm excited to get started in a minute.
And so one of the things that I wanted to kind of talk about with you is the work that you do. Can you talk to us a little bit more about how you kind of got into it and how channeling has played a role in that, especially more recently? I know that we've talked about this a little bit in the past season, but for those that may not be familiar with you, if you could just give us a little bit of a background on that.
Sure. So probably like most of you here, I had experiences when I was young that were essentially, I don't use the term channeling, but they were channeling experiences where, for instance, I was able to see things that happened ahead of time, one time in particular, in a way that saved my life, prevented me from having a really serious accident. So over time, those were experiences that I kind of pushed to the background. I happen to live in a part of the country that's pretty conservative, isn't super welcoming as much as some other places are around these kinds of things. And so I didn't feel safe talking about what I was doing. So thankfully now I'm in a completely different place. I feel a lot more supported by the universe and, for instance, by people around me. And I honestly, the older I get, the less I care about what other people think. So the work that I do now really has evolved. When I first started doing, so I do coaching and readings. And so when I first started doing readings, they were primarily answering questions for people, finding information, helping them make decisions and things like that. And that's still a small part of it. But the deeper part of it is that whenever somebody comes to me for clarity around something, what I'm reading into and feeling into along with their guides and their team is what's the deeper question? What are they really asking? And then I'm able to also help them get back into alignment with who they're here to be. Right. And so I'm reading the energetic field of where they are, and I can tell where they're out of alignment. And then I'll be guided into kind of like a radio receiver, receiving information for them and translating it into language that they can understand and asking questions that then help them get back into who they're here to be. And one of the big things that's been happening over the past maybe 5 or 6 years is that when people come, I will be directed to a particular time period in their life, and most often around something that happened for them that can often be a trauma. It doesn't necessarily have to be trauma in the sense of what we often think of it as, but it's some particular moment in time that really impacted them, and that they're still, that is still reverberating for them. And so it's still informing everything that's happening for them. Right. I was working with someone recently, as an example, if this is helpful, a woman in her 60s who had been really struggling for a long time to kind of get her message out. She is really powerful and has a lot to offer, but she had so much fear around being who she's here to be. In that, even in the first session, we were able to identify a particular experience that happened for her when she was 7 that had so closed her down that she had not been able to kind of stand in the light of who she is. And then in the next session, we went in and helped her to heal that experience, right? So that now she's not bound by that anymore, if that makes sense.
Beautiful. Perfect. I appreciate the kind of background. And so I'm excited about the subject that you're going to talk about. Shall we get started on that and kind of wrap around afterwards?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Sounds good.
I have some slides, if that's okay. It just helps people kind of focus on what's happening, and it helps me give you kind of a visual picture of where we're going. So if I can share screen, let's try that. Great. And I won't stay on there the whole time. I'll pop off and on so we can have some questions, and we can have a little bit more interactive experience. But this is what we're talking about today, this intuitive client attraction made easy. And the things that we're going to be talking about, the things we're going to cover, are the little known 6-step client attraction process that will help you magnetize clients so that you have a proven system. That's really important, a proven system that you can come back to over and over. You can uncover these hidden relationships with clients that you didn't even know you had. And you can walk away knowing exactly how to energetically connect with them before you even meet them. So I'm going to be giving you those tools, and we're going to be walking through that process today. I mean, we have a limited time, and I teach whole classes on this. So we're going to kind of distill it down into some pieces that you can get something out of and walk away with. So if you are in business, do me a favor and put in the chat that how long you've been in business. And if you're not in business, no worries. Just let me know a little bit about what it is that is what drew you to this particular call today. So I'm going to look at the chat and see what people are sharing. Great. So someone says 3 years. Sold answer. Thank you. Beginning. Perfect. This is a great time to be doing this if you're just beginning. 22 years. Okay. Okay. Get a reading. Okay. Elisa, maybe we'll come back to that in a little bit. Okay. When we come to questions, and then I'll get clearer information around what it is that you're asking. So thank you for everyone sharing. Yes. Hi, Catherine. Good. So why am I doing this? So the reason that I'm doing this is I didn't know this process when I first started. Honestly, I started a lot of businesses that went absolutely nowhere. And it wasn't until I started owning my own intuitive, I don't call them gifts because we all have them. Let's just say I started building my own intuitive skills that I was really able to connect with clients in a completely different way, including a couple clients I'm going to tell you about in a few minutes. But one of the things that happened was, even though I was able to connect with clients and I was really helping them make huge changes in their lives and in their businesses, I was not doing the same thing for myself, right? I was helping them literally make millions of dollars, and I wasn't making any money. So, sometimes that comes from us struggling to share what we do in a way that other people can understand it. So just put a yes in the chat if that's you, if you do something that's a little out of the box or a little esoteric and it's hard to explain to people, and sometimes it's about undervaluing yourself, undercharging. That I grew up in pretty incredible poverty. And so for me, I had a lot of patterns to overcome from having lived in homelessness and so forth. And so this process that I'm going to walk you through, there are a couple of different pieces of it, and we're going to touch on some of those today. And there are other aspects of it where we get into the deeper aspects of those patterns to kind of move through them too. So a couple of years ago, I finally committed to changing this, right? I literally have clients who make millions of dollars and I wasn't making any money. So I'm like, okay, I've got to change this. We're done with that. And so I made a commitment that I was going to launch a group and fill it. And then a couple of things happened. About a month into that process, maybe 3 weeks into that process, I broke my arm and I had to have surgery. I couldn't write for about 2 months. So that could have derailed me in the past. I recommitted and made a decision that was not going to happen. And then about a month and a half later, my dad passed away. And again, I just made the decision that, you know what, this is what I'm here to do. And now's the time, right? So put a yes in the chat if you know that now is your time, right? You're here because you know that you have, whether you call it a message, whether you call it a purpose, you know that you're here to do something meaningful for the planet, right? A lot of people who come to do this work, they know that they're here to maybe raise the consciousness on the planet. Like Daniel's doing that deep work now of helping other people get really connected. Yes, seeing lots of yeses in the chat. So in our container today, one of the things that's really important for us to do is to have some shared commitments, because when we're doing this deep work, it's about creating a safe container, a safe field so that people can share. And especially when we go into the intuitive work so that we can be present and available for what wants to come through. So I'm actually going to ask for your help and get a couple people to read these. Since we're kind of short on time today, I'm just going to ask for 2 people to read 2 of them each. So if I can have a volunteer to read number 1, confidentiality, and number 2, presence, you can just unmute yourself if that's a possibility, and go ahead and start. Don't be shy. I can wait a very long time.
Confidentiality. We will not share names, details, or identifying stories with anyone outside the group without permission for that individual.
Thanks, Elisa. Okay, let's have Daniel, will you read presence?
I would be happy to.
Thanks.
We create a distraction-free zone so that we can get the most out of it and be fully available to the clients who are looking for us.
Perfect. And I will go ahead and I'll just read the last 2. So judgment-free zone, we will not blame, shame, or judge others, their businesses, or even ourselves. And we commit to complete inclusivity. We welcome you, all of you. Empowerment, we are all powerful beings open to releasing the stories that have held us back and stepping into our full power in the presence of and surrounded by a collective of people to support us. So by all of us staying on the call, we will be in agreement around those commitments. So type into the chat, what is it that you want to get from today? First, a couple people shared where they're from. Thank you. Thank you. But what is it that you want to receive? What do you want to walk away with today? Because this helps me know what it is that you need so that I can facilitate that for you. Or if somebody just wants to open the mic and just share quickly, we can do that too, if it's faster than typing. Okay, great. Better understanding of how I can attract future customers. Perfect. We're going to be doing that energetic work today to align with them. And you're going to be receiving information from them directly about where and how to find them. Okay, so deeper understanding of what, Catherine? Okay, so keep typing those in. I'm going to move on to the next piece, but I'll keep reading the chat. So your invitation, should you choose to accept it, is to learn the 6-step intuitive client attraction process so that you can energetically connect to your ideal clients and magnetize them to you, versus what I say is like going and hunting them down. So, and imagine fully trusting yourself, knowing exactly who you're here to help, because sometimes that can be a little unclear and where to find them. Feel the fulfillment of being in divine service, the powerful groundedness of living your calling, and the reward of hearing your clients sharing their incredible successes with you. So if that sounds good, put a big thumbs up in the chat or a yes. Now today, this is the process that we're going to walk through. We're just going to do a couple of pieces of it. Number 1 is understanding. Number 2 is vibration. Number 3 is intention. 4 is alignment. 5 is co-creation. And 6 is visioning. And so just so you have an understanding of what our time together today is going to look like, we have about an hour and a half together, maybe a little less. And if you have questions, if you just post it in the chat as question with a capital question, I will look for those to answer them. And there will be opportunities for coaching and individual readings after the content. So I do have an upcoming class. I can talk more about that later. If you are interested, I'll share that. And I also have a gift for you for that piece today, later in the call. Okay, so any questions before we get started with the main meat of our experience today? I will take the silence as a no.
I think we're good to go.
All righty, good. So we are going to first get grounded. So if you're driving, please don't do this part. If you're not driving, I invite you into it if you have a safe space to be. And if you feel comfortable and safe, I invite you to close your eyes and then join us in this place. We are going to start to connect together to weave this interconnected web of opportunity today. So take a deep breath in through the crown. And feel the breath as it moves through the body, as if it has a density. Just feel it as it moves through your throat, down into your chest, down into your belly, into your hips, into your legs, your knees and your feet, and all the way into the earth. Good. And again, deep breath in. And feeling the breath expand in the body, imagining every cell of your being filling with light, filling with possibility, filling with potential, and witnessing all of the cells of your being light up with this amazing opportunity to be in greater connection. And taking another deep breath in. And on the exhalation, creating a cord of light from the base of your spine all the way down to the center of the earth. And envisioning now that you have absolutely everything you need in this moment, that you are fully supported by the universe, that you have all of the connections that you need, that all of the clients who are waiting for you are easily accessible, that all of the questions that have plagued you in the past will have immediate answers, that any doubts that you may have will fall away and be replaced with this sense of power. And breathing into the body and expanding your energy beyond your body, all the way to me, as I expand mine all the way to you. And together we envision all of us perhaps standing together on the beach, or sitting around a table, hand to hand, knee to knee, heart to heart, opening up this vast container, this opportunity for building beautiful connections, beautiful experiences, for helping you step into who it is you're really here to be. We simply say yes and thank you, and so it is, and so it shall be. You may open your eyes whenever it feels good to you. So a couple of minutes ago, when I was telling you a little bit about myself, I said I really wasn't able to get fully connected to clients until I opened up into my own intuitive capacity. And Erin was one of those clients. I'm going to share what she said just because it kind of distills down what's possible in this kind of work when you're really starting to connect with people in this energetic way. She says, my business has exploded in the past few weeks. It was like all the work I had been doing with Angela broke through a floodgate, and suddenly I'm seeing a huge influx of new clients. I currently have more active clients than I've had in 17 years of practice. I used to think of a coach as someone who simply cheered you on and gave you pointers. Now I realize having a coach has compressed about 10 years of personal and professional growth into 2 months. Sorry, my slides are a little sticky today for some reason. So if you're here to make a difference, and I know you are, or you wouldn't be here, you can't be in service on your own. So your invitation today, again, is to learn this 6-step intuitive attraction process so that you can energetically connect to your clients and magnetize them to you. So the first part of this is understanding. And normally we would be walking through an entire class that would take, an hour, 2 hours, a couple of hours to do just this part of it. Today, we're just going to, instead of me leading you through that particular process, I'm just going to ask you, who do you work with? Like, do you know who you work with specifically? How do you name them? And what are their deepest desires? Can you identify, for now, one of their deepest desires? And as you're typing that in, I'll just share with you a little bit about some of the clients that I work with. So as I said earlier, I primarily work with women and non-binary people. Not all of the people I work with are moms, but more and more of them are. They happen to be moms who have older kids sometimes, and they also are women who are running businesses. And so these are women who are really trying to balance the needs of their families and the demands of their businesses. They're feeling, exhausted and burnt out, feeling guilty when they're working and distracted when they're with their families. They often are, they have older children who might be having some particular complications. If one of my clients, her older son has cancer, another one's daughter has a rare medical situation. And that's not always the case, but they're balancing these pieces at the same time that they're trying to really up-level and evolve in their own spiritual path. So who's open to sharing like who your clients are and what their deeper desire might be? Do we have any brave souls?
You can always volunteer me if no one speaks out, but I would rather other people share.
I can hold out for a little bit. Great. So I'm getting a couple of people. So Catherine says women who left toxic relationships, 50s to late 60s, they want freedom, love, and respect. Beautiful. Elisa or Eliza, you'll have to help me tell you, pronounce your name. How to communicate with their relationships, not taking themselves into account, unbalanced emotions, not being able to progress in their work. Okay. Great. Elisa, thank you. Thank you. I'll try to remember Elisa. My daughter's name is Eliana, so I'll try to get that right. Similar. Okay. And Barbara says, I don't have a client base. Perfect. Barbara, you're in a particularly lovely place then today to start to really expand and connect with those people. And we're going to go through a process that's going to help them tell you these particular things. Okay. So once you do the understanding piece of it, that again would be a longer process, but we're going to step into the next piece right now, which is vibration. So I imagine that many of you here are on a spiritual path. So just type in the chat, tell me what are some of the things that you do to raise your vibration. And if this is not something that's common to you, no stress, but that means along the lines of like, let me just back up and say, have you ever walked into a room and you've met somebody and you know immediately, like you feel like you've known them your entire life? right? Or you walk into a room and you start moving towards someone, or someone moves toward you. I was at this event last weekend for my birthday, and someone was near me, and I immediately felt nauseous. So that's what we're talking about, right? So everybody has a frequency, everybody has a vibration. And before we can start connecting with our clients in a way that magnetizes them to us, it's important for us to increase our vibration, because when clients are coming to work with us, they are not looking to meet us directly at the vibration that they are at. They're looking for us to be, our frequency to be a little bit higher than where they are, because they want to be up leveling as well, right? And so that's really important in this process, to up level your vibration. Great. And so Rebecca says meditation, breath work, gratitude, beautiful. I did this when I was doing a longer class recently. I did this as a 3-hour class, and I brought in this woman who's internationally known Hungarian singer, and she led us through this beautiful practice that up levels vibration. And there are lots of ways that you can do this, right? Some of music, dance, breath work, qigong, white tantra, being in nature, listening to motivational words or speakers. Those are all ways of doing this. Laughter, that's another amazing one for sure. Okay, so again, just pieces of that process. So now what we're going to do is step into this idea of intention, maybe in a way that you have not experienced it before. So if you're open to playing along, I will invite you. We're going to do the next couple of pieces. We're going to combine a couple of these steps together into a meditation or a visualization. So I will encourage you. One thing I didn't ask at the beginning of today was for you just to, turn off your electronics, put everything to one side as best you can so that you're not distracted, because the more focused you can be on this process, the more you'll receive out of it. Okay. So whenever you're ready, I'm just going to have you close your eyes. I'm going to lead you through this little practice. And just remember, if there's anything that needs to be written down, I will guide you into that. So don't worry about taking notes or anything. You don't need to do that right now. Okay. So just imagine you're just going to close your eyes and coming back into that space that we were a few minutes ago when we were getting connected in our grounding meditation. And just take a deep breath. And start feeling into your body. And just allow yourself to feel into that deeper part of you, that core of you, that place where your deeper wisdom resides. Just accessing that part where your deeper wisdom resides. And that part of you that knows that life is organizing around your success. That part of you that knows that the universe is fully supporting you in every moment. And from that place, begin to connect with what it is you most desire from your work with clients, what it is you most desire from your work with clients. So tap into who you're really here to be. Tap into the desires that have been calling you forth. And tap into the desires you have yet to access. And now connecting with that part of you who truly longs to be seen, who truly longs to be loved, who truly longs to be your authentic self without fear of judgment. Ask yourself, at the deepest level, what is it I most desire to experience in working with clients? What is it I most desire to experience in working with clients? And sit with that for just a moment. And now asking, if I believed I had the power to create anything through my work with clients, what would it be? If I believed I had the power to create anything through my work with clients, what would it be? And the last question, what do I long to contribute through working with clients? What do I long to contribute through working with clients? From that awareness, You're going to create a heartfelt intention. I'm going to share some examples with you. So one example, my intention is to be fully myself without fear of judgment so that my clients can do the same. My intention is to provide spiritual guidance to those who seek it so they can live in alignment with their soul's calling. My intention is to be in service to 10 VIP clients and cultivate relationships that nourish all involved. My intention is to nurture a sustainable business in service to one group program while working 20 hours a week and feeding my soul. Write down, or just remember, you can write it down if you'd like to, your intention or your starter intention does not have to be set in stone. You can come back and revisit this at another time. This is just your getting started intention. So I'm going to stop this for just a moment and take a few shares. Take one share potentially. Okay. And if you are here and it's possible for you to be on camera, again, I invite you to do that so that we can. It really does change the energy of our experience here together, and you will get more out of it if you can be available on camera. So I'm asking for that if that's possible. And I'll ask for a brave volunteer to share your intention, clear your commitment today in walking through this process. The easier it will be for you to connect to your clients. So you're welcome to type it. I'm asking everyone who's done this to type it into the chat, and then for one brave person to share. Don't make Daniel do all the work. All right, Daniel, you might have to start us off.
Oh.
Okay,
Oh,
Catherine.
I'm on, am I?
You're on. Would you like to share?
Okay, yeah, I came out of the library just to do that. My intention, I call the ladies my cafes. All right? Mm-hmm. And my intention basically is to empower them to stand up, to speak their truth, to take their freedom and the power to live their lives as they choose into their own hands and soar with it. Basically, I just want them to say, yes, here I am, and roar. That's it.
Beautiful. So your intention is then to empower these women to really stand in their truth, to stand up for themselves and to claim the right that they have to be here. How would you state that?
Yes. Huh?
Yeah. Okay. Does that work?
Yes. That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thanks for sharing, Catherine. Thanks.
Okay.
So thank you. Elisa says, my intention is to be a service for groups of women to help them have better relationships with their partners. Beautiful. Okay. All right. And I'll look for other ones as people post them. I do invite you to, as I said, to experience this, to be part of it. You will get much more out of it than if you're just listening. So let me get back to my notes for just a second. Okay. Just go back to that. Okay. So now we're going to step into the alignment piece. This is step 4. And every part of this process, we started off with understanding at level 1, which is kind of outside of yourself, right? And one of the reasons that we kind of start from the outside in and move toward the center, move toward the deeper connection. And one of the things that's happening in that understanding process that we didn't really get into as much today is that you are stepping into your client's shoes through that deeper understanding. You're really putting yourself in their place energetically. And so now we're starting to move deeper into the center, if you will. So this exercise is going to give you an opportunity to really connect with your clients and hear what they need you to know, right? So coming from them, what they need you to know. So we're going to step back into a meditation. I'm going to, and again, invite you to close your eyes if you are in a safe space and if you feel comfortable doing so. And I'm going to walk you through this process and explain and share a visual with you. So closing your eyes and just imagining that you have in front of you this large blue infinity sign. And this infinity sign, it's like a figure 8. It's laying horizontally out, coming from the center of you. It's not touching your body. Usually this is coming from the solar plexus. It can come from the heart. It really depends on where you are energetically. Primarily, it's focused on coming from the solar plexus. And so from this place, seeing this beautiful, large blue infinity sign with this electric blue light running through it, you're going to imagine that you have a chair. You're going to put a chair on the side that's closest to you and put a chair on the side further from you. In the side that's closest to you, you are going to sit. So just envision yourself sitting down inside this blue infinity symbol. And again, feeling this blue electricity run through it. And when you're ready, from your deepest awareness, energetically invite one ideal client to participate in creating the most beneficial opportunity for them, and invite them to sit opposite you in the blue infinity sign. Now, again, you're on one side, they're on the other side. You can make them as far away as you need to feel comfortable, or as close together, as long as you're not touching. And just take a moment to breathe into this space. Breathe fully into it. See them in your mind's eye as if you were sitting and having coffee. You can sense that they fully trust you, that they feel safe in your presence, that they know without a doubt that you are the one who can help them. And now that you're going to ask a series of questions, and then you're just going to listen. So I'm going to guide you through a series of questions. Just listen for the answers, okay? With them sitting across from you. If you're not finding someone, if someone's not there, don't worry about it. Just ask the questions and listen for the answers. Okay? And again, if you're not hearing anything, there's nothing wrong with you. This is just a practice, right? This is an invitation. So the answers will get louder and louder for you over time. So asking from the fullness of your heart, who are you? And listening. And what struggles can I help you with? And listening. And what problems have you not been able to solve? And listening. What do you need from me? Where shall I find you? And what else would you like me to know? And so from this space, just taking a moment, you're welcome to open your eyes. And if you would like to share I'll take some shares if people want to open up their mics and tell us, who are these? Who did you connect with? What struggles are they experiencing? What problems can you help them with? Where can you find them? And this is something that, you know, you can do on your own, and journal those experiences. And a lot of times that will be an opportunity to really get deeper answers. If you're like, I'm someone who, I mean, now I've been doing this for a long time, so I can ask the questions and hear the answers, but doing automatic writing is incredibly powerful. And that's how I started off, was receiving all of my responses through writing. So who's going to be brave today? Normally, I just call on people in my own groups.
Me, I'm always prepared to step up to be first. Not a problem at all.
Great.
So who are you? I didn't get a response to that. What was the other question? What do you want?
Well, there was like, what struggles could I help you with?
Ah, yes. What struggles could I help you with? And the response was freedom. And then the other one, how can I help you? I want someone to hold my hand.
Ah, yes. And
then where can I find you? And what I heard was, I mean, it came almost immediately as you asked the questions. Where can I find you? And the response was literally, I'm in all the groups you visit. Exactly word for word.
Yeah,
then,
I just got goosebumps. So that's definitely an affirmative for you.
Listen, I am shivering, which is why I came out. I'm in the library. I got good goosebumps from the first question. And how can I? What was the last one?
There were any other questions? If you heard any other questions that they asked.
Yes. And how can I help you? What she said was, if you could speak more about love, if you could speak more about us, if you could speak more about the connection that we have. Yeah.
Wow, how does that feel?
Oh, shivery.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations. Exciting, super exciting. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. So who else would like to share?
I can go too.
Please.
To the question, who are you, is like a woman. What struggles could I help you with is kind of bringing more peace and happiness. What problems you have not been able to solve, not understanding myself, not understanding what is going on, what is happening. And what do you need from me to bring clarity and purpose? And yeah, where shall I find you? What black, nothing. It's coming.
That one wasn't available yet, huh? Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't mean the answer is not there, right? That's one of the things that I've learned after doing thousands of readings now, is that sometimes the information is very linear and immediate, and sometimes it's more metaphorical or less available. And I've learned that that's the process, that's the information is being given in the way that the person who's receiving it can integrate it, right? And so the information will be there. I just continue to ask. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Thanks for sharing. What about you, Daniel?
I have so much going on in my head right now that I was distracted and didn't get any answers. So I am looking forward to taking some time and calming down a bit and going through this again a little bit later on.
Well, a little unfair of me to ask you as the host, because there is a lot going on when you're in the process of hosting. So no worries. But yeah, curious about what comes up for you.
Yeah, I mean, in short, one of the things that came to me was the people that I'm helping are people that are looking, that are struggling and, you know, looking to find a deeper understanding of who they are.
Yeah.
And the impact that that is having on them on kind of a daily basis or a regular basis of not knowing themselves, not knowing who they are. And where I can find them, the answer that I got was not what I wanted to hear, was we will find you, which is lovely and great, but I want to be able to, you know, do things on my end to find people as well. So I do want to go through this exercise a bit later again.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, and the thing is that that's one of the things that's a little hard to wrap our heads around at the beginning, is that these are people who are already looking for us, and they're not finding us, for instance, because even in my own experience, right, whether that's visibility, whether it's the wrong platform, whether it's visibility, whether, you know, for me, I'm not being consistent enough, you know, am I not telling people in a clear enough way what it is that I'm doing, right? And so we have the real potential of knowing they're there. And then for you right now, just hearing that, right? Like we're looking for you. We need to see you. Where are you? Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. So Shannon, I don't know if you want to say something to us or you're talking to someone else, but
nope, forgot the button. Mine was my spirit guide, Ezra, who's quite the sarcastic, and he just like sat down and said, yeah, you already know, we're already working on it. Okay.
And any other clues?
They don't like to give me too many.
Okay.
Right. I have a lot of stuff that is in process right now, and I'm making shifts in my business from leaving direct client to going into larger aspects. And that's what he just was like, yeah, we're not giving you the people. I'm here. It's good. We're working on it.
Beautiful. Yeah, I hear that sometimes for myself too. I heard probably 3 or 4 times today, trust. Do you trust us? Do you trust us? You know, do you trust us? So, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Congratulations. Congratulations. So, so finding those clients is only one part of the equation, right? There are other pieces of this, like what is the transformation that you want to create with them? And I'm sharing this with you because this was just recently, it was in October, and Kim is somebody I've worked with previously. And when she came to work with me, she was really she was making good money, but people often come to me because they want to make more money, even though that's not really what the work is about. That's kind of the external tangible piece of what shows up. And when she came to me, she had capped herself at a particular amount. And during our work together, one of the things that we learned was that even though she had never had a conversation with her father about this, once she did after our reading, she learned that the amount of money that she was making was the most money he had ever made. So somehow subconsciously she knew this, and she had capped herself at that amount. She also wanted to be traveling again instead of kind of stuck in the town that she lives in for her business. And so these are some of the things that we did together. There were quite a few other ones, but when she actually called me from Spain, and then we weren't connecting. I was traveling or something. And so she sent me a text, and then we eventually spoke, but this is what she said. She said, I just called to thank you so much for all of the guiding and coaching for the time that we were together. You were very instrumental in the life that I lead now. I'm just finishing 2 months in Spain, and I produced $20 million in real estate this year. I think of where I was when I met you and started working with you and where I am today. I'll always be grateful, right? So it's important to think about, and I'm going to lead you, this is going to be the next piece of this. We're getting ready to step into step 6 of the process, and this is important. Okay. So now in this piece, it's the last piece of the meditation. So again, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and just get centered and come back into that place of receptivity, coming back into that place of knowing that you're fully supported, and coming back into that place of possibility and potential, of deeper awareness, of energetic connection. And now imagining that you run into your client on the street, or they reach out to you like Kim did to me, and just see them in the distance as they approach, and just feel them as they get closer to you. What's different? How do they feel? What's their energy like? And just start to pay attention to where you feel that in your body. What are they wearing? How do they carry themselves? Imagine that they are telling you about their greatest success, a success that's a direct result of your work with them. Just see them in the midst of that success. Perhaps they've just found the love of their life, or they've left a toxic relationship. Perhaps they've given up an addiction and saved their marriage, or just given a TEDx talk, or maybe like Kim, they produced $20 million in real estate. So see the outcome, the intention that you created earlier. See the outcome of your intention in your mind's eye. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like, taste like, sound like? What's the conversation that happens? What are they most excited to share with you? Just ask for as many details as possible. Just stick with that for a moment. So just stick with that for a moment. And I'm going to show you, well, if my slides work, I'm going to show you this piece right here. So there are a couple of parts to step 6. We just did one of them. Another one of them is creating something visual that you can see on a regular basis. And this is what I created when I was telling you about the launch that I did, that I decided I was finally going to do something, finally going to help create some money for myself, not just for other people. And I created this graphic, and these are clients, except for the last 3, these are clients who actually signed up for me. I signed up with me for that particular class. So I highly encourage you to do that as part of your visioning process, to create something physical. It can be, sometimes you can use candles on a tray. You can use something like this, just something to remind yourself and to help you connect with those clients pretty regularly. Okay. So let me see. I don't think I've got anything else that I really need to share with you. We're going to step into, in just a minute, we're going to do a super fun exercise. And before we do that, in case people have to hop off, I am going to be doing a class that's coming up called the Client Attraction Accelerator. And if you want more information about that, I'm happy to share it. But this is primarily for you if you really feel like no matter what you do or how hard you try, you keep bumping up against this inner like upper limit and you just can't seem to break through it, or that your ideal income or your desired impact in the world is like constantly eluding you. And so your mission in this experience, should you choose to accept it, is to implement the 6-step client attraction system, intuitive client attraction system, where you've gotten a few pieces of that today. It's a much longer process. So that you can work with not just the number of clients you want, but with your ideal clients and the ones that you can offer the greatest transformation to, those ones who really feed your soul when you work together, and the ones who pay you what you're worth willingly. Just imagine 3 weeks from now, it's a 3-week class, having broken through your inner glass ceiling, because that's the first session that we're going to do, is breaking through that inner glass ceiling, and then having the incredible clarity on how best to serve your clients and where to find them, and having this concrete system to invite them to work with you whenever you want. So I am offering one special little gift today. If you decide that you want to do that, just let me know before we close the call.
Can I just add something to this, just to specify, because this is something that you and I have been kind of talking about.
Yep.
This class is designed and offered for and to women and people that associate as a woman.
Right, non-binary or people who identify as women, yes.
And so that's something to be really clear about. So for the men that are listening, if you're interested, Angela is offering a class on March 1st, which is going to be a single day. She can, give us more details about that herself. And so if you are like me, interested in the subject and, obviously unable to join her group that's coming up in a few days, she's creating something for us to play with on March 1st.
Yep. Thanks for helping me clarify that. Yeah, I'm happy to share any information. If people have questions, I can share links and things like that too. So the next piece that we're getting ready to jump into, and so I'm hoping that everyone I can't see many people on camera, so we're getting ready to jump into an exercise that's super helpful and powerful, and it is something that it really is part of step 6 in the way that it will anchor it and it will help bring this forward into the world for you. Okay, so let me just grab the specifics of that so that I can post them in the group. In the chat. Okay, and I'm going to model this with someone in just a minute. And I know that often I'm somebody, I will just say flat out, I don't love breakout rooms. I just kind of hightail it out of there when people do breakout rooms. Please don't. If you really want to get anything out of this experience today, even if you felt like you didn't do the process or you didn't get any clarity, walking through this next piece of it, see, somebody just left. Walking through this piece of it is going to be super helpful for you, okay? So I'm going to, let me pop the kind of the guidelines into the chat, and then I'm going to model this with someone, okay? So in this process, what you're going to do is share the vision that you had in the present tense. So you're going to be imagining, for instance, this client who just came up to you. This is somebody that you've worked with, somebody you've created this incredible transformation with, and you are just going to tell that story to the other person in the room with you. And at the end of that, you have 2 minutes to do that. And at the end of that, that person is going to acknowledge you, okay? So who wants to play along with me? Is there anybody who hasn't spoken today who is brave enough? Catherine, I'll come back to you if nobody else is brave enough to speak out. But if someone is, it could be incredibly helpful for you, I promise. All right, Catherine, since you were brave and you volunteered first.
So you want me to tell you what happened?
Yeah, so just 1 second. Daniel, can we remove the spotlight for just a second so I can see clearly?
You can just click on the view and see everybody. I don't want to do that because I don't want to bring people onto the video that don't want to be on the video.
Sure. I just was trying to see Catherine clearly. So, and she's about
Catherine,
this
are you
big.
okay if I bring you on the video?
Sure.
Yeah, beautiful. How's that?
All right, let's come back to this other view. Okay, that's better. We're going to go with
Ready?
that. Okay, yes. So just briefly, just share with me the vision that you had.
All right. So the vision that I had, I'm walking along wherever, somewhere in a city, and I see this woman coming towards me. And the first thing I notice is that her heart field is wide open. There is a bright light where her heart is. And that caught my attention. A huge smile on her face. So as and I feel it in my gut where my magician lives. And so she walks to me and we hug, and she said, "You were right. You know, I didn't believe it. I am so happy. I have met the man of my dream." She said, "I didn't believe it when you told me that I needed to love and respect myself first in order to get it." And after the first month, I believed you and I started working on it. And by the time that we were through, I have met the man of my dreams. I stand up for myself and he loves it. In addition to which, I am doing a job now that I always wanted to do as a child. And I am so happy. And my God, Angela, you had me crying in the library. The tears were running down my face because this is what I want for them. She feels so free.
Yeah.
This is what I want for my Kathy's.
Yes, beautiful. So do you go by Catherine or Kathy? What's your preference?
Catherine. I am not a Kathy, but the ladies are my Kathy's.
Okay, Catherine. All right, I'm going to acknowledge you, okay? So give me just a second. And all of the acknowledgements are personal sort of validations of what someone has shared with you, a mirroring opportunity. You can drop in to do it, but it's not a requirement. So I like to drop in to do it. All right, Kathy, amazing, beautiful, powerful one. What we see for you is this incredible, incredible potential. We see all of this potential for connection. We see your heart space so open, so wide, so inviting, so bright that it invites amazing women into work with you, the ones who are just, who are in that space of almost desperation, right? They know that the situation that they're in is not who they really are, that they're really here to be someone else, and powerful, powerful, powerful being. And they're coming to you because they know that you can unlock these doors for them. The powerful one we see in you is powerful beyond measure, is magnetic, is creative, and is successful. For all of this and more, we acknowledge you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's you. That's you.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Danielle.
Beautiful. Okay. So that's the practice. And if Daniel's open to putting everyone other than he and I into rooms, I think we have enough people for 2 people in each room. The person with the longest hair goes first. The other person can be, actually I said timekeeper is the longest hair, and go in alphabetical order by first name. Okay, so you have 2 minutes to share your story and 1 minute for the other person to acknowledge you, and then you switch. So 8 minutes for that. Okay, is that good, Daniel? Does anybody have questions before we jump into it?
And if anyone shows up, we'll go back to the room.
Yeah, if you're in a room by yourself, come back. And we will either put you in another room or I will help you. Yeah, Barbara, yeah.
Sorry, I've had to pop in and out. I'm sorry, I had another meeting and then it didn't happen. So I'm not on the thread thought here, so I shouldn't go into a room.
No,
I'm not really sure what you're.
Oh. Yeah, I'll just explain it briefly. So what we did was we did a little visualization around running into a client after having worked with them. And
I caught that a little bit, but I
seeing the
missed everything before.
transformation. It's okay. That's all you need. It's like,
okay.
you're just sharing your vision of what that transformation was like, what that felt like to you, and how their lives were changed by working with you.
Okay. Even though I missed the first 3 steps, that's all right.
That's okay. No,
I caught that. All right.
You're exactly. You sent me a little thing about divine timing. This is it.
Put me on the spot.
Yeah.
Step up to the plate. Okay.
Thank you.
Once again, Angela put the short little description in the breakout room in the chat. So you've got kind of the guidelines there. I'm going to stop the recording so that I can move everybody over to the rooms, and then I'll start the recording afterwards.
Great. So we're back from the breakout rooms. Some of you survived. Oops.
Good to go.
Okay. I jumped the gun. I heard the recording thing. So for those of you who did get into a breakout room and who got to share your vision and got to have that acknowledged, how was that for you? Just wave your hands. Was that a good thing? Was it a positive thing? Was it validating? What came up for you? I'm getting some claps. Yay. Exciting. Good. Does anybody want to share?
Okay, I'll share that it's always like coming from the other one, you feel seen, like in a deeper way.
It's so hard for us to see ourselves, right? It's one of the reasons that I feel like we need this it's one of the reasons this is an important part of the process. Because even though we have these visions, we have this understanding of who we're here to work with, we can connect with those people. Without that external validation, we often shut ourselves down and we don't move forward. Thank you, Elise. Rebecca, did you want to say something? I saw your...
Before we continue, I've got everybody in the gallery view, everybody that's currently here. Can I just get your approval that you're okay if I put you on the video? Everybody good with that?
Yep.
Awesome.
Good. Great. Okay. So we've just got just a few minutes, and I said I would do readings. So let me just jump in and do a couple of those so you can get a taste of what that's like. It is the primary work that I do. All of these other, when Daniel asked about, what does your team want to talk about? And it came up to be this intuitive client attraction. I feel like the reason that is what came up is that there are so many of us who are doing this kind of work, who are needing to claim some visibility and claim some opportunities and resources in ways that allow us to continue the work. And the deeper work, of course, for those of us who are on this path, as we know, is that it's being on the path, right? It's having more and more and more alignment. And so this piece of it is about the alignment. Okay. So since we have just a few minutes, I'll go ahead and do some readings. I won't give you a lot of preamble as to what that kind of looks like. I will ask you a question, ask you what your first question is, and then I'll open the door to what's possible. And then in that moment, we will see what comes up. Okay. So, excellent. Yeah, go ahead, Elise.
Okay. Yeah, I just made a program for women that are in a committed relationship, and but they lost the spark, and they don't know how to rekindle their committed relationship. And I did all the steps, and I think I progressed a lot, but I cannot get anyone interested in doing a conversation. Only one people from many that I know they could have this problem, but no one has come. And I wonder if it's something in me or about the product, or that I can receive help from you to see or to overcome.
Yeah. So one of the things that's coming up for you is third chakra. So solar plexus for you. So oops, I lost you. There you are. And so one of the things that's happening is that there's a disconnect between the people who are showing up to work with you and their ability to see success through you. So one of the things that could be really helpful for you is to, what are you sharing with them about your own success in this area?
I didn't have like the chance to talk to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Because
So-
I only asked to my referrals or patients that I work with already. And I said, I've done this program and it's so amazing. I didn't add any testimony, any specific testimonials. It was just like a small brochure.
Yeah, so part of the reason they're not reaching out or responding because they're not feeling connected to it. So it's not that your offer isn't amazing. You know, you and I got an opportunity to have a conversation, but it's about how you're articulating or wording the marketing so that they're not able to see themselves in it. Okay, does that make sense?
Okay. Then is not well defined the target or
no, the target is okay. It's the language of them, you know, and I know that because of the program that you're in, I know that there are some trainings available to you. So I would go back into that and look at what's possible around the specifically around bringing out the pain points for them. Because part of what's happening for them is that they don't feel there's even a solution for the depth of their pain.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're in the marketing that you're offering, there's not a visible transformation, right? Like the mission is not clear to them that they can actually accomplish it. Okay. And you're welcome to
kind of on the benefits.
Yes, right. Yeah. And if you want to email me about that, you're welcome to.
Okay. We'll be happy.
Great. Thank
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's not you. I mean, you have what you need. People definitely want to be working with you. They're just not seeing that the transformation is really possible for them just through what you're sharing.
Okay.
So having some testimonials from the people who did the individual program with you last year, the one-on-one, could be really helpful.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Catherine.
Okay, I'm up. Actually, I didn't have a question, but while the lady was speaking, I thought of one surfaced. The Breakthrough Spa. That's the name of my program.
The Breakthrough Spa. Wait, I'm sorry. The Breakthrough Spa, S-P-A.
Yes.
Okay.
Spa. Yes. So I want to, because it's I'm just designing it, and I realize that I haven't been using the right language because I was trying to be so proper. And then in the groups I participate in, I began using the women's language, the words that they use, etc., etc. It's been very painful to be creating this new web page. So I just want to know, is it a goal? Is it because it's been taking me a while to get it moving. You know, it's as if this is a better way to say it. It's as if I had to make internal shifts which have been almost physically painful. Mm-hmm. And to use the right language to get it up and moving, but it's been weeks. So is it me? Is the problem me? I just need some clarity on
so let me make sure
on the right path.
So tell me, the one thing that I'm unclear of right now is what is the offer that you're trying to get people to sign up for?
The Breakthrough Spa, it's a 6-month program.
6-month program for women, and how many people do you want in it?
I never thought of that. Oh dear. How many people do I want in it?
So remember coming back to step 6 earlier, and I was showing you that visualization that I had created, right?
Yes.
So you have to set a table and invite people to it.
Okay, all right. The idea I have, which hasn't really shifted, is 3 clients per month.
Okay, 3 clients per month. So is it a one-on-one program then?
It's a one-on-one program, and eventually I will make it into either a group program or create a retreat.
Okay, so you're looking for individual clients right now. So first of all, may I be open and blunt?
Well, of course.
So the language about the spa may not be something that attracts people for the kind of work. Okay, so consider using language, as you said, that like the one step that we didn't dive into too much today is about how to find that language specifically and finding something that people are really drawn to that tells them what the transformation is that they're going to get. Okay, because if somebody's signing up to work one-on-one with you for a 6-month program, they're going to want something, especially given the cost of coaching programs, they're going to want something they can really sink their teeth into around the transformation that they're going to get. And since you're doing this really deep, powerful work, connecting women to their power centers, allowing them to stand up for themselves, speak for themselves, stand in their truth, that's a little bit like the energy of that is very different than the language of spa. Right? Does that make sense? So the women who really need that?
Yes. You see, the thing is, I did not create the breakthrough spa. The dragons downloaded this thing to me 10 years ago. And it's only now that after I have done a lot of internal work that I'm beginning to get the feel of it. So I am literally writing, because they gave me reams and reams, but nobody's gonna, it's too much. So I'm literally breaking it down to put it into their language. But I'm gonna talk to them about the term, the spa. I mean, I love it. To tell them in exquisite detail, but not make the web page too huge. Exactly the type of transformation that they can get. And I do want to over deliver, so I'm not going to put everything, but I am going to touch on the points of what they say they want.
And since we have a brief time, just really quickly, because we're a little bit over time, and I want to honor that. So one thing for you though that's coming up is also solar plexus, right? So there is something coming for you there that you could do some work on that would really open up the possibility, like would create an opportunity for you to invite people in a way that they can see it.
I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
So that's where focusing on that. Yeah, that would be where what I'm hearing for you is for you to focus on that piece first, then the language piece. Okay. And then see what happens, see what starts to open up.
I got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Spot on.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for playing. Barbara, you're on camera. Do you have a question?
Lots of questions. And the trick is to be specific and be direct. So
the clearer the question, the clearer the answer.
Just recently, the idea of sonic healing, sound vibration, and connecting with whale language has come across my path. So at this point, it's okay, do I pursue, is whale language a path of, a strong path that I should follow or could follow?
Right. So we always say there are no shoulds, right? There really are none.
As much, I'm sure whale language is something that would be very beneficial to investigate. The question is whether that is the most direct path for me to building a product, to build a product to share. At the moment, I just do ad hoc things with friends, and I don't have a business, and I don't have, it is not in my current vision to necessarily create a a business per se.
Mhm. But it sounds like you're interested in creating a product.
But I still have that call to do something.
So the call is to be in
packaging
service,
that
right?
could be, very different from a traditional
Sure.
business offering.
I didn't consider myself being in business for a decade, so I get it.
Anyway,
so the thing for you is that it really depends on what the greater intention is. And it would be, so what I'm hearing for you is that particular route would be beneficial for you personally if the intention of having the product is to create some financial resources for you in a direct way. That's not a super direct way to do it. Okay. So it really depends on what your intention is and what you want to get out of it and how you want to be in service. Because what I'm hearing for you, the underlying piece of this is being in service, right?
Mhm.
It is being aligning with who you're really here to be. And although that piece of it may feed you, you asked, is it a direct? It's not direct at this moment, given the potential for people to get the product right on the receiving end. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of tools and gifts we have, but I find there's so much, I wouldn't say resistance, but that screen is up.
For you or for other people?
For other people to see
Mhm.
what the possibilities are. And
Sure.
so it's just connecting with the people that are drawn to that,
Mhm.
Which,
Well, your question was,
if I'm not clear on the path, if I'm not necessarily offering something specific, I'm not going to attract that.
right. And your question was, is something around the lines is this direct, right? Is this
Yep.
the most direct? And the answer to that question is no.
Yep.
It's not the most direct. It doesn't mean don't do it. There
Right.
are no shoulds. It just means that's the answer to the question you asked.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Oh, it does. And that's why I tried to answer it. And of course, interested in all sorts of things. And something will land, something will.
And it doesn't mean don't do it. It just means knowing that there are lots and lots and lots of options for you.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's a question of choosing what it is I want to do. And
getting clear. And if we had more time, we could kind of dive into that, but we're going to wrap that up. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Daniel. So, oops. Oh, there. Now you're back. I mean, now you're gone. You're over here now. So yeah, really quickly, I'm going to hand it over to you and we can kind of wrap up. I can share links if that's helpful or talk more about what's coming up.
Yeah. So, thank you again for everything that you've shared. I'm myself really excited to listen to this recording again and kind of go over the information when my mind is a little more settled. For those of you that have resonated with Angela, her website is angelafanderson.com.
Mm-hmm.
And in the offer page, you will see an invitation to join her upcoming course that is specific around this subject. It's going to be a 3-week course. Very excited for people that are able to join that. And again, that course is designed to be for women and for people that associate with being a woman. For those of us that are listening to the replay and are after the 5th of the month, and for those of us that associate ourselves with being men, Angela is offering a course in March 1st. And so if you're interested in attending that, feel free to reach out to her via email, mention the March course to her and that you came through the Channeling Spirit Virtual Summit or CSVS. That course requires 4 people. I am one. And so we need 3 more to come and play with us. So if you're listening to the recording or if you are a male, definitely reach out to her. Her email is angela@angelafanderson.com. And of course, Angela, I will let you say anything that you want to say in closing. And thank you guys all for letting us go a little bit longer.
It is absolutely my pleasure to be here, my honor to be in service to all of you. Thank you for showing up. I always trust in divine timing that absolutely everybody who's supposed to be here is. And if you're listening to the recording, you know, there are no coincidences. Thank you for lending your energy and your heart to this experience as well. And yes, please reach out to me if you have questions, or you can schedule sessions on my website or reach out that way too. Thank you.
And for those of you that are going to be joining us for the next session, that is going to be with Sandra Pelly. It's at the top of the hour. Email should have got the link. For those of you that are listening to the recording, either in the replay or after the fact, thank you for being with us as well. It's always an honor to have you join us. And I will leave you guys all with being spirit, being human, simply being from love.
Thank you.
Thank you for being part of this incredible experience. We hope that this session has inspired a new level of understanding within you, allowing you to expand more easily into the essence of your true self and become an even more powerful alchemist in your own life. We invite you to listen to the session again and again in order to go deeper each time and expand even more. Have it be via the replays or the unlimited access package. If you have enjoyed being part of this event, we invite you to tell your friends so that they can join us in the future. We are grateful that you are here, and we thank you for co-creating this experience with us. Until next time, we leave you with being spirit, being human, and simply being from love.